So in order to deconstruct that voodoo doll, what steps do we have to take? Is it just using ad blockers? Is it being picky on the sites that we're surfing on? Is it being picky on the information that we put on those sites, or is it something just way beyond that?
It first of all, understand, from either your first protocol is your browser.
Mhm.
Understand what's in your browser and why. The cookies that are in your browsers that you allow in your browsers track what you do and where you go and what you do on the internet. So if it were me, if I was starting from scratch, I would first clear out my browser of everything that wasn't my bank, my social media platforms, if that's what you want a part of that, and get away, because most of the cookies in your browser are, and they're third-party cookies. They're cookies that were given to Amazon, that Amazon put in your browser, and they got paid to do that because they're Amazon, and they put cookies that are, so you want to first do is cleanse all the people that you're sharing your data with
Yeah.
and bring that down to an absolute minimum. And then, of course, you want your bank cookies in your browser, and then configure your browser not to take any cookies, period. The beauty, the master, the idea that this is a cookie is a beautiful, it's spyware. That's what that is. It's labeled a cookie to make you and I feel comfortable about letting it in our browser, but it's an application that reports about what you do on the internet. That is what I call spyware.
Mhm.
All right, so first thing you had to do is clean that out, and then understand that every time you use a search engine to go out and look for something you want, whether it's tickets to a concert or to go to Amazon, that's a search engine that makes money off of taking what you're looking for and selling that. Okay, so that's Google. Google's the best example of that. $1 billion company who doesn't produce anything except they don't sell anything except what you and I do on the web. And you've got to, and that's a billion, that's probably one of the most powerful companies on the planet. And if that's not an example of how much our personal data is worth and what we do on the web, I don't know what is. But then the next thing you do, and there are search engines that are anonymous,
Mhm.
that look at Duck and Go, or Duck Duck
Duck,
Go, I
duck,
think
go.
it's
Yeah, yeah,
called.
yeah.
Yeah, it's great, and they do not, they don't put cookies, and they let you use it and come. So there are, you can pick out then your portfolio of things. One is a VPN, a virtual private network. So when you connect to an accredited website, it encrypts the traffic, so what you upload and download is not intercepted. But a good cleaning of your browser cookies, a good search engine that doesn't track you, and a VPN that connects and encrypts your data to and from is a minimum. And then it's just that awareness. It's just that spidey sense of understanding whatever you do. You got to take time. I'm telling you, I have made the biggest converts in privacy by just telling them, read Amazon privacy notice, and if that doesn't scare you to death,
Mhm.
to understand what they do, how the reach, the depth, and breadth of what the information that they take from you for just landing on your site, I don't. Then there's no hope for you.
See, Richard, the problem is that I'm a Gen Z or I'm a Gen Alpha, and my attention span and ability to focus is already shot beyond belief. So you asking me to read Amazon's, privacy policy is good for you who can muster 3 to 4 minutes to at least absorb all of it and then critically think. But if I'm consuming TikTok for the last hour, and then I see this and I go and look at Amazon's privacy policy, I'm unable to take anything in. So how do we make it accessible?
Right. So remember, before I talk to you, I remember saying, I'm worried about coming across as an old angry man. And when I hear you say that, and I hear my grandsons say that, I think to myself, do you know what you're telling me? You're telling me that your attention span is short because you're hooked on applications that don't require a long attention span. All right,
Right.
whether it's TikTok or Instagram or immediate gratification, whatever it is that, all right. So, and this of course is why your algorithm is so easy to read and why you're fed. And it's like here, drugs, the first one is always free. And once you're hooked, you're hooked. And getting off is like detox. A digital detox is what your generation needs to understand. I'm sorry, but if you want to affect change, you're going to have to actually take the time to give the subject the attention it deserves. And so if you don't think it deserves it, well, good luck with your privacy and your personal information, your religious affiliation, your sexual preference, your, all of that is a roll of the dice and may or may not affect your future. But if you took, and I'm, and yes, by the way, so the Amazon privacy notice is about 27 pages, and it takes about 9 clicks to get through it and then actually read it. So it's about a half hour to 45 minutes worth of investment. All right, and I'm giving you that as an example of, if you read it once and understand that this is Amazon. Can you imagine
Mhm.
what the other yin yangs out there are taking from me? But this is the most reputable international e-commerce platform in the world, and they get away with this. And so I'm trying to save you a lot of time to say, take your time, take 45 minutes out of your busy life and read Amazon if you're worried about your personal privacy, and then you will see the world differently.
Right. Try to take some time between binging YouTube, Netflix, and TikTok to spend 45 minutes on Amazon to read the
And I guess
policy.
exactly. And what I'm saying is that maybe, just maybe, the return will be worth the investment.
Sure.
And you don't know that until you've made the investment. And if you finish reading, and I hate to keep banging on about Amazon, but if you finish reading that and you don't see the world differently, please give me a call. And then fine. Then stop listening to angry old men like me and get on with your life, because personal privacy has absolutely no place in your life. And good on you. You're one of the chosen few. And I wish you well. But it's not my experience of data. Personal data commoditized, sold, always comes back to haunt you. I mean, people make fun of, hey, don't upload that to Facebook and run for political office 20 years from now.
Mhm.
That is more true than, yeah, it's a cliche now, but it's more true than you care to believe.
Sure. I would describe you more as truth-seeking and experienced rather than angry and old. Um,
And
the
I thank you for that, because I was telling you earlier, I feel like that old man where when the ball bounces in your yard, you don't want to ask for it because he's going to give you a lecture about something, about ball safety or, kicking a ball safely. It is. I'm worried about, I don't mean to be cynical. I mean to be realistic. I've had a, I'm very disappointed in as I when I first met you and talked about the state of cybersecurity today.
Mhm.
It's, we've been doing this for 30 years, and we are going, it seems like we're going out of our way to fail. And I think at the end of the day, that's because you and I as end users have failed to ask for more.
Right.
Yeah, everybody's losing our data, and we don't seem to care. We don't seem to want them to protect it, and I don't understand that, because a lot of lives have been severely impacted by a loss of, their personal data. And you don't know it until it happens to you. It's like seeing a car accident. You're like, man, you've never been in a car accident. You're like, well, whew, okay, I'm not worried about that. I don't wear seatbelts. Tell you, you've been in a car accident, you'll wear seatbelts for the rest of your life. That's a
Right.
fact.
Well, I think to extend that metaphor, I think you were the person that was young and told the kids to not play with the ball near a single lane road. And now that road is, an 8-lane highway, and you're still telling those same children, guys, don't play with the ball, you are going to get hurt.